also wanted to get your reaction, Anthony, to some news coming out of the US this morning. Sources telling NBC that the Democrats will indeed be filing 2 articles of impeachment against the US president. This is, first of all, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Your reaction?
Well, listen, I mean, he'll be the 3rd American president impeached, so there's a sadness to that, frankly. Even though I've broken from my support from President Trump, I am an American. I want to see the president do well, and I want to be less partisan about that. And so when you hear that, and he will go through that process of impeachment now, I think the market is sort of saying that he'll get acquitted in the Senate, but I think you have to be very careful with things like that, because once that waterfall starts and the president's in the barrel heading for the cliff, so to speak, and there's more information that comes out, as that waterfall information cascades, it could be quite damaging to him, and it could be damaging to his re-election prospects, and it could be, there's a potentiality, and I've said this often, that he may not be running for re-election come November. But for me, my reaction to that in general is one of great sadness.
What are people telling you about this? Because it seems like there's a great challenge here for the investor. On the one hand, the Trump economy is showing real green shoots. The job numbers are fantastic. The unemployment rate down to a 50-year low. And the growth trajectory also looks pretty good. But at the same time, here's a president who just seems to be dividing a country and also confusing investors abroad.
Yeah, so I think what we've learned from this situation is that yes, deregulation, the benefit of the tax situation in terms of making the corporate tax rates more competitive, very beneficial to the United States. But unfortunately, the president's often stepping on his message. He uses Twitter to ridicule people and to personally attack them, and I think it's affected his standing and the public approval ratings, not just in the U.S. but around the world. And so many people have said, hey, listen, if he would just dial back on Twitter, be a cheerleader for the global economy, be a cheerleader for the Western alliance, he could be doing so much better. But he doesn't like taking advice like that. And so the way he is operating has led to being one of 3 presidents in U.S. history. Again, it hasn't happened yet, but it will likely happen, to be impeached. And then secondarily, I think he's damaged his image. I don't think America's image, frankly, has been damaged yet by President Trump, but his image has been damaged. If you see the interaction at NATO or the G7 over the summer, I think his image has been damaged. But the good news for the United States is that we have a bipartisan commitment to areas like this, and I think our alliance, frankly, is still quite strong. And there's great opportunity for peace and prosperity for the world if we can just stick together.
I was listening into a couple of your other interviews just recently, and I know you said that Mike Bloomberg would probably
bad
be
for me, by the way, when you're listening to my other interviews. But go ahead.
He said, you said that Mike Bloomberg would probably be the best option for the Democrats right now.
Yeah.
Other people, like the BET founder Bob Johnson, says there's absolutely no one in the Democratic lineup right now who can take on the president.
Yeah.
Why do you think that a more centrist candidate would fit the bill?
I mean, listen. First of all, Bob's a great guy. I think he's correct in assessing the Trump economy. The Trump economy has been quite strong, but I think if Mayor Bloomberg, if Mike were to get the nomination, he would beat the president, because he would have the capital behind him. He is a moderate, and as you know, 15 to 18% of the American electorate decides the election. Those are primarily the independents and the moderate Democrats and the moderate Republicans. President Trump certainly has a base that will stay with him. To use his words, if he shoots people, they'll stay with him. But those 15 to 18% of the people, I think they're exhausted. I think they have a level of Trump fatigue. And he's a very sound guy and a very good business manager. And he's been a very capable politician. So for those reasons, I think he'd give him a big run. I think he'd beat him.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now, to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.